Today's lesson is about measures of variation. So last time we talked about mean, median, and mode. Today we're going to talk about standard deviation and all the things that go with that. So first we're going to talk about range of a data set. So the range of a data set is just the biggest number minus the smallest number. So right here where it says max minus min, that's how you find the range, biggest minus the smallest. Okay, now the range of a data set is easy to compute, but it only takes into account the largest and smallest observations. For that reason, two other measures of variation, the standard deviation and the interquartile range, are generally favored over the range. So today we're talking about standard deviation, and next time we'll talk about interquartile range. So the sample standard deviation. In contrast to the range, the standard deviation takes into account all the observations. It is the preferred measure of variation when the mean is used as the measure of center. The standard deviation measures variation by indicating how far each observation is from the mean. Okay, so here we have example 3.8. So it says the heights in inches of the 5 starting players on a basketball team are 72, 73, 76, 76, and 78 inches. Find the deviations from the mean. Well, first we have to find the mean. So what I did was I added up all these numbers, 72, 73, 76, and 78. So you add all those up and then divide by 5 because there are 5 of them. And then the mean is 75. So anytime you see X bar, that's asking for the mean. And in this case, it's 75. So to find the deviation from the mean for an observation X sub I, we subtract the mean from it. So you're going to take each of these numbers for the height now and subtract the mean, which was 75. Okay, so we have 73 minus 75, which equals -2. And then we have 76 minus 75, which equals 1. And then again, 76 minus 75 is 1. And then lastly, 78 minus 75 is 3. Okay, so we found how far the things are from the mean. The next step is what we call squared deviation. So now we're going to take each number we found, how far it was from the mean, and we're going to square these numbers. So first let me fill in this table from the first problem. And yes, I just sighed. It's been a long day. Okay, so now we're going to square these. So we have 1, 1, and 9. And I'm going to have to change these colors because that's going to bother me. Okay, then after you find all of these squared numbers, you have to add them together to get the total. So when you add them together to get the total, it should be 24. Total is 24. After we do this, it's going to help us find what we call the sample variance. So if you see here in this formula, sample variance is found by taking the sum of the squared deviations. So that number we just found up here, 24, is what goes on the top of this fraction. And then you're going to divide by 1 less than the sample size. So for example, there were 5 starting basketball players. We're going to divide 24 by 5 minus 1. And you can see that right here in the middle of the page. Here. And 24 divided by 4 is 6. So that means the variance is 6. Now, lastly, we're going to take the square root of this number to find the sample standard deviation. So here's the fancy pants formal definition. for standard deviation. And now we're going to take the square root of our number 6. So the square root of 6 is 2.4. Okay, so 2.4. Alright, so here it says practice problems. So I'm about to show you exactly what you're going to do on your homework. So for your homework, first you're going to find the range. Then we're going to have to find the average, the mean. Then we're going to fill in this table. You're going to find the variance and the standard deviation. Okay, so first let's talk about range. Range is the biggest minus the smallest. So we're going to be doing 5 minus 0, which is 5. So the range is 5. Next, we need to find the average, or x bar. So I'm going to show you that. So x bar means we're going to find the average. 4 plus 0 plus 5 divided by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, so now here in the data points, we're going to type what the data points are. So we're going to type 4, 0, and 5. I'll just leave them all the same color since apparently it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. Now, standard deviation is where you're going to take each of these data points and subtract the mean, which we found to be 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. And 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, here we're going to square those numbers we just found. So 1, 9, and 4. And when you add those together, you should get 14. Okay, so for variance, if you remember, I said we're going to take the sum of our numbers squared over here. So 14 divided by 1 less than the sample size. And the sample size here was 3 because we have 3 numbers. So divided by 3 minus 1 is 2, as I'm trying to type. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. The variance is 7. And for standard deviation, we're going to take the square root of the variance. So square root of 7 and the square root of 7 is 2.6. Okay. So that is what you're going to do for your homework today. You're going to first find the range, so biggest minus smallest, then find the average, which is adding them all up and dividing by how many there are. Then you're going to fill in this table about standard deviation and squared deviation. You're going to use the sum of this column, the last column, and divide that by 1 less than the sample size to get your variance. And then for standard deviation, you take the square root of that. Okay, so if you need any help doing that, please let me know. You can email me anytime for help. And your homework today was a worksheet where you have to fill in these tables and answer those questions. So when you're finished with it, you can attach it to the assignment. All right, so like I said, if you need any help, let me know. I'm here for you. Bye.